8:40 on this Thursday. Good morning to you. It is the Hometown Morning Show with Tori and Kyle. And now it's Tori, Kyle, and Richard Szerman.
Happy to be here.
Just scoot Kyle right out of the way. Just push him right out of the way.
Thank you. I'm here a little often, I suppose, these days.
You are. And we love it. We always have a good time. We always learn something. Richard Szerman from Alta Realty. What is happening? You look awfully nice. Look at you with you've got the vest going and the suit jacket.
I like to dress up for radio. That's my thing.
Well, but it's our new thing too.
Yeah.
We stream now live on Facebook. So we're streaming right now. If you want to see how incredible Richard looks this morning.
Yes, that's a reason to tune in. For sure.
Tune in on our Facebook page. We're streaming live at KHTS Radio.
Well, if my wife is listening, that may be one extra person who'll take the stream today. That would be exciting. We'd like that.
We have a picture of you, like stock footage, when we use for you when we're doing stories, and we absolutely need to take another picture, and I'll tell you why. Because you look mad, and that is nothing like you. You laugh at the drop of a hat. You have a good time. You're constantly helping people. We need to get a better picture.
Well, I'm always surprised that you guys let me back after the time I was here previously. So I'm always happy to be here. But no, in general, I'm a fairly happy person. My job, it's just the job I do because I defend people from foreclosures, because we do foreclosure defense, and because we do it for free. I see a lot of inequity. I'm confronted on a daily basis with things that are just flat out wrong, and there doesn't, no one else does what we do, unfortunately. I mean, we've reached out to local politicians, and sometimes they help, sometimes they don't. Usually they kind of come back with, we're doing other things, which I understand. I mean, they have to serve the whole community. I'm doing this kind of one at a time. We've got several hundred files at any given time, but I see
700 files. Wait a minute. Let's talk about
several.
Oh, I thought you said 700 files.
200 to 300 is still a lot. That's still a ton.
That's still a lot of files going on. Give me an example. Obviously, no names and stuff like that. Boy. Give me an example of what you take care of in case our listeners, because we have new ones all the time on 98.1 FM.
Sure.
And if they've never heard of you, Richard Szerman, who spells his name really, really weird.
I do it properly. The rest of you do it weird.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
You have a Z in there for some unknown.
Z instead of an H, just to be different.
But he helps you with some mortgages that have turned bad, and he can explain moving forward. Explain to our listeners.
Sure. Well, we do foreclosure defense, and we do it for free. We've been doing it for a long time. It's just a heartfelt belief that we all have, my staff and I, that people shouldn't be thrown out of their houses. There is always a better way. The bank is always better off keeping the customer in the house, and that is what they signed up for. And the way mortgages work is so bizarre. I mean, to those of us who do this all the time, it seems normal, but to the regular person out there, it seems nuts. I mean, if I were to tell you that I'll loan you $10 today, but 3 weeks from now you have to give me $30 for the $10 I lent you, you'd say, no way, absolutely not. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. And also, my $10 is going to be guaranteed by something of an asset that's worth $12 or $15. You would never agree to those terms. But in a mortgage, we do it all the time. And that's just the way the mortgage industry works. And there's obviously a lot more to it than that, but a lot of the numbers are so stratospheric that a lot of people just can't conceive of it. I mean, when you buy, the average price for a home in Santa Clarita right now is about $650,000. When you buy a $650,000 house on a 30-year mortgage, most people can't conceive of ever paying that off, let alone, losing it, because all they think about is, this is my mortgage payment, which is kind of akin to rent. That's not really the way you should be looking at it, but that's the system we're in. So what we do is we step into the breach whenever somebody's having a problem, because most people who have trouble paying their mortgage are not in a position to hire an attorney. And there really is no free legal outreach or a group of realtors or anything else like that does what we do. And we've been doing it for, I've been in real estate for almost 30 years now. I started when I was very young, I'll say that. So your viewers continue to think that.
Out of elementary school.
Actually, I should go the other way. I should say, I was 45 when I started. I'm 72 now, and this is just how good I look in my 70s.
That's true. It can go either way. Yeah.
Well, I have the gray hair for it, but that would be nice. But no, not at all. Anyway, we step into the breach there, and we get between the client and the bank, and we try to get these things sorted out, because there are things that the banks don't tell their own clientele. And because they don't tell them, they don't know they have these options. Also, even though there's been some landmark legislation in California recently, the Homeowner Bill of Rights being the most important to protect you, most people have no idea. I mean, I'm amazed at the people that I get in my office who are a hair's breadth away from losing their house. They're in a total panic, and they've never even bothered to Google foreclosure defense or California Homeowner Bill of Rights or anything like that.
Okay, but here's the thing. Unless we have someone like you educating our community, we have no idea that foreclosure defense is even a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm here, because typically to mount a foreclosure defense with a good attorney, it's going to cost you 30 to 60 grand, and you'll probably only want to see the inside of a courtroom. We do what we do for free, and it's not that we couldn't charge for it. Of course we could, but it's just a belief of mine that taking money from people who are already in financial jeopardy, already in financial hardship, is just not something you should do. My grandmother would not approve.
Yeah.
So we just don't do that. And I've been very fortunate that I've had a very good real estate career. Most of my adult, all my adult life, I started when I was 18, and I've done very well. It's something I seem to have an aptitude for, I suppose. And I don't do a lot of the other knucklehead things that I've seen friends of mine with money do. I don't have lots and lots of sports cars. I don't cheat on my wife. I don't have an alcohol problem. I don't any of these other things I've seen friends of mine go through. I do this instead, so this is where I spend my money. I think it's more useful, I suppose, but I hope it is. But so we step in there, we save houses, and we're very proud of the work that we do. And anyone can Google my name or go to the station's website, and you'll find story after story and case after case of the sort of stuff we do.
Well, give me an example.
Of one now?
Yeah,
here's one. We've got one right now. A fella comes into the office. He is 89 years old. First of all, congratulations to him for being 89 years old and still being lucid and mobile and everything else, and very impressive sort of fellow. He just lost his wife. His wife died a year ago, and when she got sick, they didn't have insurance that would cover her cancer. So he wound up paying for that. And I mean, given a choice between paying your mortgage or taking care of your wife, obviously all of us would choose, I hope, would choose taking care of your wife. And this is not an uncommon scenario. It could be different family or whatever. But so he had a dip in his finances. He went to the bank and said, hey, this is what's going on. And the bank, sort of like I think it's the Joe Pesci character in Goodfellas, I won't say the expletive, but the attitude is, oh, I'm sorry, you can't pay us. Oh, it's too bad. Pay me. I'm told you got a problem with your wife. Oh, that's too bad. Pay me. That's the only thing they understand. And when you see these commercials, by the way, this is just a tip for your viewers. Anytime you see a large financial institution doing a commercial about how they care, it's because they're in trouble for not caring. If you see them doing a commercial for we're environmentally friendly, it's because they just got in all kinds of trouble for not being. So that's the only reason they do that. It's the only reason corporations like that advertise, really. I mean, Wells Fargo does not need name recognition. What they need to do is clean up the messes that they've made. And that's kind of public relations how they do that. So anyway, we step into that breach, and in this fellow's case, what we should be able to do, because his income and everything is there, but he's 89 years old, and as sharp as he is, when he filled out his form for the bank, he checked the box that said it was rental property. He checked one box. All over the place it says it's not, but because he checked that one box, the bank came back and said, well, we won't do this, it's rental property. Which is, by the way, not true either. Banks will do rental property as well. We say people are from foreclosure and rental property on a regular basis too. That's not a prohibition. It just makes it harder. But in his case, because he checked the wrong box, the man is going to lose his home of 23 years.
Right.
He has one simple request. He wants to get back to paying his mortgage, and he wants to die in his house. I don't think that's a lot to ask. I think we'd all like to be able to have some discretion over how we're going to end. And it's hard talking to him because he's in a very tough position. The good news is, because the relative elements that we need are there, there is an income and everything else, we will be able to save his house. I'm very confident we'll be able to get this sorted out with the bank. This is what we do on a daily basis. It'll take us about 6 weeks probably to get some answers, but we'll get this ironed out pretty quickly. But had he not found us on the web, or found, I think, for a friend or whatever he did, but had he not come into the office, he'd be losing his house in about 3 weeks. Instead, in about 6 weeks, he'll be back on track making a mortgage payment. He can get back to his life. So that's the kind of thing we do. And it's really sometimes just a matter of checking the wrong box can cost you your house. It shouldn't work that way. It absolutely shouldn't.
Okay, but Richard, and we only have seriously 30 seconds left. In all seriousness, if you if there's someone at the bank or someone going through these files and they see, oh, it's a home, it's a home, it's a home, it's a home, it's a home. Oh, they must have checked this box by accident. Let's give them a buzz. Let's give them a buzz on the telly.
Never going to happen. And if you do that at a bank, you're getting fired, because the bank's job is to make money for their shareholders. If you happen to have a house with equity, as he does,
no heart.
No, well, blaming a bank for acting scummy about money is like being mad at a shark for swimming. When a shark eats a surfer, it doesn't go, well, that guy's a single father of 3. Maybe I should think that maybe I'll eat the next guy. It just sees the surfer and eats him.
You're right.
Banks exist to maximize profit for their shareholders. That is their only job. That is their only reason for existence. And if they have to set fire to an orphanage, I was once told this by an executive at Bank of America, because I used this example. I said, would you set fire to an orphanage for an extra $1? He said, well, is it $1 for the bank? Yeah. And if it was, and the excuse is always the same. If I didn't do it, the next guy would. Well, I think we settled that issue a long time ago, but that's just how these guys behave. It is all in pursuit of the almighty dollar, and the attitude is, if you're in trouble, it is your fault.
Okay.
And that's ridiculous.
You get to look at yourself in the mirror every single morning and like what you see. And I like you, Richard Szerman. Give me a phone number. 661-714-1400. That number again, 661-714-1400.
1400. That is my personal cell phone. It's not, I don't have a business one in a person. That is my personal phone.
And he answers it?
I do. You can call me at it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I try to be pretty responsive.
Do you text?
Yep, text me as well. If I was going to say, if I don't answer, send me a text and we'll get to you as quickly as we can. The number of modifications I've seen in my office just since the first of the year has gone up stratospherically. We're up almost 200%. We're taking an average of about 12 a week, which is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. The number of foreclosures in California, according to Realty Track, I was looking at this morning, is up 8.6% just in the last month. And it's going to get worse. The economy is faltering. It is going to get worse. Anyone who tells you the economy is strong is selling you something.
You're going to be in a bad pickle, but the guy who can get you out and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
With the greatest,
we'll try.
With the greatest personality ever, Richard
thanks.
Szerman. Thank you so much. Love
thank
when you
guys.
come in.
Thanks
You know
for having
that.
me in. Thank you.
Beep, beep.